Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Parlay with Awthentik and The Beard, your Sunday morning home for all the fantasy football and NFL betting advice one could ever need. Let me bring in my fellow co-hosts, Awthentik and Scotty Boom.
Hey, what it do?
Okay, so before we get started today, wow, I wanted to talk about last night. Notre Dame, baby, double overtime win. It was insane. One of the greatest college football games I have watched in a long time. I mean, it was, I don't know who watched it. I think most of America watched it because most of America was waiting to see Dave Chappelle on Saturday Night Live. So everybody kind of got forced to watch the end of that game, which was pretty awesome. I'm pretty stoked, and it got me in this football mood. So this morning, after I got my cup of coffee and I was driving to the crib, I put on AC/DC Thunderstruck. Now I don't know what it is because look, in Varsity Blues, that's the scene where they get their butts whooped.
Oh yeah.
But that song just reminds me of hits and just you know what I'm saying, like football. So I'm feeling a little hyped. What about you gentlemen today? How you doing, Scotty Booms?
You know I'm not really a Notre Dame fan, so it didn't hit me as big as it hit you, but it was a good game. Double overtime. You always love to see Clemson go down. I've never seen anybody hold Etienne, that running back, to what you guys did. That D-line, that run defense in general is ferocious, so congratulations to you and the Irish. Congratulations to Joe Biden. He won the presidency. Finally, they announced it yesterday. That's another big one. But I'm doing good, man. I'm ready for some football today. I'm ready for these Giants to get run over.
Hey, come on now. I thought he was going to say, I'm ready for these Giants to get that W, right? Kind of sounded like it, right? Hey, man, this past week has been pretty fantastic here in Washington, D.C., man. The vibes out in the streets were amazing yesterday, man. So many people, just so much pride. I had a great time just checking out a little bit of the celebrations. Brought my camera out there, took a couple shots with the camera. That is. And yeah, man, it's rivalry week. So yeah, I'm ready for some football, man. I cannot wait for this game. Unfortunately, we're not going to be at the game today, man. We're going to miss out on what's this, our first tailgate we're missing in 11 years, man. So
yeah, maybe a little bit more than that, actually.
Yeah, that's going to be major. And I remember that one year, man, we got 3 Redskins or Washington football team versus the Giants games in 1 year because we got that early game that 1 year for the second season. Right. So maybe that makes up for this one we're going to miss this year, man. But I'm definitely ready to tackle some fantasy, and I got to make sure my lineup is set, man. So y'all fellas remind me, man, before these
don't worry, I will.
You should have had that, Awthentik. You're already late, buddy. You haven't said
anything, man.
I changed lineups 5 times after we finished the parlay because eventually I think it's something that I didn't think of before I made 25 lineups on DraftKings before we started. So I'm going to say some shout outs to some folks in the chat really fast, and then we're going to get rolling into these games. Waterfly, I gotta give a big shout out to Waterfly because Waterfly popped in my over the years video premiere last night and was showing some love. So big shout out to Waterfly.
Hey, shout out to your channel too. We gotta bring light to that. Tim
I got
just
to
hit
2K.
2,000, man. What was that, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday became official, 2K.
That's major, man. That's major, man. So congratulations to you, bro.
I appreciate the love and support from everybody. Mac, the Giants fan, go blue, big blue in the building. Papa Homewood is in the building as well. Says this game could be ugly. I think it's going to be a good ugly, though. So, Chernock,
Pops, what
a.k.a. Tank, is in the building. Yes.
I like Cernock better.
Yeah, that's why I always said Cernock. But then
maybe
you guys
we got to do a little flip. You guys
are giving me harm for saying Chernock. But Cernock.
He can't be calling the man out his name, you know?
I mean, we all go by nicknames here, too. So it's why not just give
And the funny thing is his nickname is Tank. So
that's
man,
cool too.
I think we're gonna add the Sir, like Mr. Sir. We'll have the Sir Knock, just appropriate.
I like
form.
that. There we go. Right. We got a quick early question. PTA's dog, aka Ligma, says start 2, bench 2. Amari Cooper, Darius Slayton, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin. Woohoo!
I like Darius Slayton.
Godwin's playing for sure.
Godwin's back, right?
He's back.
I don't know. I don't think so. Somebody's going to have to pull that up.
I'm going to go Darius Slayton and Antonio Brown, and surprisingly enough, both those players are on my fantasy team. I'm trying to think if I want to start Antonio Brown or if I want to start Scotty Miller because, I think one of the two is going to be the deep play threat for them. I'd stay away from all Cowboys wide receivers until further notice.
Yeah,
they got
facts.
a fourth quarterback starting today, so I would definitely stay away from Amari Cooper. And if Chris Godwin's healthy, I mean, that's a solid one, but starting 2 wide receivers on the same team might be a problem. So I work Darius Slayton in that mix with one of the 2 Tampa Bay guys.
Did Darius
I'm gonna
Slayton
go
score 3 weeks ago against Washington? He did, didn't he?
I think
Who scored
so.
a touchdown? I thought it was
Yeah,
Slayton.
I believe Darius Slayton did get the touchdown against
That's got
Washington.
to be the guy, yeah.
I think I'm going to go Slayton and Antonio Brown. I'm going to take a gamble on AB for sure.
So funny. Amari Cooper is just like Awthentik said, it's just do not touch territory. I mean, this guy's a top 5 receiver when he's got Dak Prescott. Now it's somebody you don't even put in your starting lineup for fantasy.
Yeah, it's wild. Shout out Lucas. What's good, Lucas? And, Lucas put us on to the plug. So make sure you guys don't forget to check out betopenly.com, where you can take bets against your peers with no house, and it's only a 1% juice. So shout out to betopenly.com. They sent us some socks. They said we got some hats on the way, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Let's get it.
Make sure you guys check them out. And the loyal, the faithful Anthony from Bluegrass Picker. What's going on, brother? How you doing? How you doing?
What up?
And
The
Marjorie.
grass is bluer on the other side.
I like that one.
You like that?
Marjorie,
Marjorie in the building.
the gem dropper. What's going on, Marjorie? How you doing? How you
Big
doing?
gem dropper.
Who else we got in the building? Oh, my man Tim Glock 30, our
Glock.
resident Clevelandier, is in the building.
You know, every time I say Glock 30, I think of like those 50 Cent gunshots that was popular on mixtapes. It's like, that's what I be thinking about.
And,
he need his own click. yo.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Little sound effects. What's going on, Jimmy? Checking in from Colorado. Hope all is well, brother.
What up, Jimmy?
And I think we're get ready to lock and loaded. Locks.
Lax,
044.
always.
Lax in the
What up,
building.
Lax?
What's going on,
Them
brother?
Giants faithful out here. Let's go.
I was
Let's
gonna
get this
say,
W today.
there's a ton of Giants fans in the chat right now. They always come correct. Authentic, man, you bring your team, our team, your team. You bring them in tight on Sundays. I respect.
I like that our team. I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, you're
I try,
NFC
man.
East.
We're all on the
You're
same
part of the
team.
regiment here.
Facts.
Right.
So when we go to the Super Bowl this year, y'all, make sure to root
Hey,
for us.
hey.
All right. It's time.
What up, Harris? What up?
For fantasy football NFL betting odds. Welcome to the Parlay. It's your boy Tim, the Beard, and Scotty Booms, and Awthentik. First game on the slate. Seattle Seahawks are 6-1. They are 3-point favorites at the Buffalo Bills, who are 6-2. The over/under is 55. This game kicks off at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so gentlemen, this is the point of the show where you give me some fantasy players and your thoughts on the spread and the over/under. I'm going to go ahead and start with Scotty Booms. Tell me what you like.
Seahawks 3-point favorite coming into this game. A lot's been said this year. I mean, we know Russell Wilson's on an MVP type pace the way he's been playing, but a lot's been talked about the Seattle defense and how it's nothing like it used to be back in the day with Legion of Boom. I think their run defense is a little bit better than the numbers say. They do have personnel over there. You know who's had a terrible year? Is Jadeveon Clowney. Do you guys know?
Yeah, you have not heard his name.
Wow, he's been
not one sack.
quiet.
So it looked like NFL GMs knew what they were doing when they did not pay this man in the offseason. Seattle kind of got an egg with that one.
Hey,
But-
the sacks have definitely been a problem with Jadeveon Clowney his whole career.
Always.
You know, they were talking about a guy like that should have 10 sacks in a season. He never had a 10-sack season. So, I mean, maybe it's a Leonard Williams kind of thing where it's like he's bringing some pressure, but it's definitely not showing up on the stat board in the sacks. I definitely agree with you on that.
Right, because Leonard Williams, I mean, he's more of like an inside. He can really stop the run. And when you're talking about Jadeveon Clowney, you're looking at, you want 10 sacks because he's definitely a good run stopper, but being a run stopper on the edge and then being that big guy in the middle like Leonard Williams,
Yeah.
I think if you're not giving us 8 to 10 sacks, Clowney, you're definitely not worth what you think you are worth at 15
Yeah,
or
that's
20
facts.
million, whatever it is. Josh Allen's been playing a lot worse. Buffalo Bills, seems like every 2 or 3 years they have a huge start, like 3-4-0, and then they always just kind of fall back to mediocrity. And that's what it's been this year. I mean, he was in the MVP race 3 weeks ago. They haven't looked good in that time. He has a better game today against Seattle, but I'm going to take Seattle. I'm going to lay those 3 points. Russell's been doing his thing. I can't bet against him ever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'll take Seattle in this game. I'll take the over in this game, too. Russell Wilson just playing lights out, on pace for 5,000 yards here. And, speaking of the rushing quarterback, Scotty, man, this guy's on pace for 600 yards. So he's definitely balling out.
Wow.
The Seattle pass defense is the reason why I got to take the over in this. So there's never been a defense to allow 300 or more passing yards per game ever. I thought that was an interesting stat. And right now they're allowing like 358 yards a game. So if they finish out the season with those kind of numbers, they're going to break some records they don't want to break. I definitely watch out for this matchup against this Buffalo Bills defense because I do think that they could, surprisingly come out and actually stop Russell Wilson in this game. It's definitely a bounce back game for the quarterback for the Bills. Allen needs to have a good game. He's had a couple bad games in a row here. Bills have failed to cover in 4 straight games. So keep that in mind. I'm going to take the Seahawks now. I take the over.
So fantasy-wise, this game is loaded with plays. I think, most people are probably going to be stacking either side of this matchup. Personally, Russell Wilson, I don't think has had a game under 23 fantasy points all season long. So they're going to be expensive. It's going to be hard. I mean, Metcalf, Lockett, they're both going to be super expensive on DraftKings. So you might not be able to afford all 3, obviously. So you might have to sneak in one of those lower end price wise options on Seattle, like David Moore is an option at wide receiver. He sneakily catches a touchdown every so often. Disley is a really cheap option at tight end for Seattle. So those are definitely some players to look out for.
Disley missed a big touchdown last week, but Russ Wilson did come back and get it on the 4th down with a fantastic throw and catch to Lockett.
And I'm gonna, so I'm gonna stack Russell Wilson. I think I like DK Metcalf a little bit in this game, and I'm going to bring it back with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has been lights out this year since going to Buffalo. I think he's going to have a huge game. Another player to kind of look out for in this game that's sneaky starting to get some more volume is Zach Moss, the rookie running back for the Buffalo Bills. I think he had 80-some yards on the ground last week. So definitely keep your eye out on him. And then the running back position for the Seattle Seahawks right now is kind of, up in the air. Carlos Hyde is out. Chris Carson is out. Homer, who had a knee issue last week, is back, I believe, today. So it'll be interesting to see how they split up the carries between DJ Dallas and Travis Homer. I like DJ Dallas. He's still super cheap. And, he got in the end zone, 2 touchdowns last week, I believe?
Yeah, you talked about DJ Dallas last week. I was a little weary about him because he was the only running back that was actually healthy on that roster. And with Moss, we talked about that last week too. Singletary not really taking over that job, I feel like he should be. Moss coming in off his injury, and he showed some flashes of light. I'll give you 2 stats I want to throw at you real quick. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, first pair in NFL history with 500 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns in 7 games. That's the first time.
Crazy.
Another one, too, when I was talking about Russell Wilson, right now he's on pace for 4,900 and 600 rushing yards. There's only been one quarterback who ever threw for 4,500 yards and ran for 400. Take a guess?
Mike Vick?
It was Dante Culpepper in 2004.
Culpepper.
Wow. Yeah, which we kind of forgot. He did have a little bit of legs there. He was kind of slow, reminding me of your boy Haskins a little bit, actually, skill set wise. But he's the last one to do that. So those are 2 big stats to look for. I think that the Bills failing to cover in 4 straight games is, keep that in mind when you pick in this game for sure.
For sure. And we do have a couple of questions in the chat related to this game. So Jimmy over at Old School Flips says he needs a flex. Devin Singletary versus Seattle or Corey Davis versus Chicago. That's a tough call. Now, Corey Davis has been playing really well as of late for the Tennessee Titans. Devin Singletary, as we just kind of talked about, has been losing a little bit of touches to Zach Moss lately. So this is a really tough decision here.
Not for me.
Not for you? Where
What
you
you
going,
thinking,
Booms?
Scott?
Nah, Corey Davis for sure, man. Like you said, he's been playing better. He's got first-round draft pick status. Tannehill's good. Chicago's defense is tough. That could be a low-scoring affair, but if anybody's going to score a touchdown for Tennessee through the air, I think it's going to be Corey Davis. And Singletary was a guy, he played against Washington last year, looked great as a rookie. I thought he was going to have a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
But like the Beard just pointed out, he's losing touches already. We're halfway through his 2nd season. So he's really been a big-time disappointment. So I would definitely take Corey Davis.
Wasn't Singletary the reason why they let LaShawn McCoy go so easily too?
Yeah.
He was that rookie, So, and I remember when he first started out, he was giving me Miles Sanders vibes because he could catch out of the backfield and stuff like that.
Electric.
I'm gonna definitely go Corey Davis in this one too, just with this matchup. But I think if this is my team, I might try to hit the free agency and try to pick somebody up, because the thing about Tennessee is they're a good, solid team. But look at how the Bengals just took care of them last week, and they're the kind of team that like you never know week to week. Even though they're solid, in some instances they look like they could be Super Bowl bound or at least far in the playoffs. And then you see a game like that where they kind of just put up a dud. So I'm sketchy about Corey Davis. I also think you got to watch out for is it A.J. Brown over there, number 11?
Yeah.
You got to watch out for him getting some receiving touchdowns as well. He's been solid this whole year. I like him as the two of those receivers over there. But if you got to choose between those two, yeah, I'm going with Corey.
And the next question related to this game is going to be DJ Dallas or Marvin Jones Jr.
Oh, they get into the goods.
Now,
they get into the goods.
I like DJ Dallas. Don't take me wrong, right?
Yeah.
But Marvin Jones Jr. is a proven big play guy. And with no Kenny Galladay,
that's it right
there's
there.
Nobody like that's going to be the guy. I mean, there's another dude over there, Hall, who's going to take some passes. But
The other Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin's, which is weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Marvin Jones Jr. for sure in that one for me, guys.
Yeah, I agree. You said everything I need to say on that one.
Yeah, and Stafford's a guy, he doesn't need the one receiver like Matt Ryan and Julio used to be. Some quarterbacks, Andy Dalton, AJ Green, they need that number one guy. Man, Matt Stafford throw touchdown passes to anybody out there running routes.
Oh, so, and I regress. I do have one more thing to say on that. So Matthew Stafford was supposed to not play in this game with COVID, and just this morning they just announced that he's active. To me, there's a few players they did this with this morning. And for those that don't know, Baker Mayfield is also out today with COVID. They just threw him on the COVID list just this morning.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that this morning. Matthew Stafford is one who tested positive and then tested negative today. There's a few other players. I can't remember.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, he's the other one. Yup.
Yeah.
That he was supposed to be inactive this game. They wake up this morning, do another COVID test, it's negative. It's getting a little crazy, and I think that's just a little sketchy that day to day these guys are coming back into the game. But that's a positive for the Detroit Lions and for both Marvins in this game.
No. The Browns have a bye, so they're good without Baker this week.
Oh, the Browns are on a bye.
Browns
So
are on
yeah,
a bye.
Baker. So he tested positive for COVID then. So
Yeah,
no game
so-
this week though.
Lucky for them.
Yeah.
Well, they do have Mr. Case Keenum.
Yeah.
They need him.
Who might be better like as a backup for real. You know, them dudes, they like to prove when they the backup. Then you give them the starting job, it's like giving them the money. Nah.
Yeah. So next game on the slate this morning. That one was, that's packed. We got the Baltimore Ravens 5-2, who are 2.5-point favorites at the Indianapolis Colts, who are also 5-2. The over/under is 48. This game kicks off at 1:00 p.m. This line's been moving all over the place. At one point today, I saw the Colts favored by 1.5, which I thought was crazy. I was telling the fellas that earlier this morning. Awthentik, what you like about this game, fantasy and gambling? Oh, before I forget, I'm taking Seattle. I didn't give you guys my pick. I'm taking Seattle. No, you know what? I'm taking Buffalo +3.
Buffalo.
And I'm taking the over also. I think that game's going to be close. I think Seattle will probably end up winning, but I think Buffalo covers that spread. I think it's a 1-2 point game. I did win the football pool last week. Shout out to Muhammad if you're watching right now.
Oh, yeah, that was major.
So I picked some big games last week. But yeah, so what do you like about Colts and Ravens, Awthentik?
I don't like a lot of stuff when it comes to the Colts, bro. I'm going to keep it 100. They're very hard to judge. They remind me of the Titans. It's a few other teams in the league that are like this where it's like you just don't know what you're going to get week to week. The crazy thing about this game is the Ravens are leading the NFL in rushing yards per game, 178 rushing yards per game, which is ridiculous. That's number one. And they're going up against the number 2 rushing defense in the Colts, who only allow 80 yards per game on the ground. So to me, that's the matchup right there. I think J.K. Dobbins is a player to really look for in this game. And he's been seeing a lot more carries. And here's the crazy part. I think he could be the first Ravens running back in 2 years to go back-to-back with a 100-yard game.
That's crazy.
Which is real wild from Mark Ingram, who I was really high on last year. And I felt like for my fantasy team, he did a fantastic job last year. I can't believe he didn't get back-to-back 100-yard games. I think we'll see Dobbins go back-to-back here. Last week, he had 113 yards on the ground versus the Steelers' defense, which is no slouch. We know that the Steelers' weakness is their run defense, though. I want to say they would have the number 1 defense, but their run defense is weaker. I wouldn't say their weakness. And the Colts are unbeaten at home, so it makes it even trickier. I really don't know who to pick in this game. I'll go with Vegas, man. I'll go with Vegas. I'll take Baltimore, and I'll take the 3.
Yeah. Scotty Booms?
I mean, two good defenses. This would be a team that would give Baltimore trouble because, the Colts defense is awesome. It's phenomenal. They got a great linebacker over there, second-year guy. Phillip Rivers has been playing better after I thrashed him 3 weeks ago on our show. 6 touchdowns, 1 interception in his last 2 matchups, but he did play Detroit and Cincinnati. So you got to take those stats with a grain of salt. Baltimore's defense is amazing. They are going to keep the Colts down today offensively. Rivers is going to have another bad game, probably a couple interceptions. Give me the Ravens. I'm going to go ahead and lay those 3 points. Give me over 48. It's an offensive league this year. If you look at quarterback stats, it's unreal how many quarterbacks have a quarterback rating over 90 this year. I mean, it seems like all of them are balling out, except for our quarterbacks.
I was about to say, bro, because Daniel Jones is at like 79. I'm like, man.
Yeah, so give me the Ravens -3 and over that 48.
I definitely want to agree with Awthentik about J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins is... This is going to be his breakout game. I don't understand why they haven't been giving him the ball more already. I feel like he had that one really good game early in the season, and everybody was kind of like, yo, this guy is about ready to, take off. And then they just kind of stopped giving him the ball. And so I expect them to have, pump J.K. Dobbins this game. As far as the Colts go, no T.Y. Hilton. It's not like he has done anything in a year and a half anyways. He still hasn't cracked 100 yards in like 18 straight games now, which is kind of crazy to think about since he was considered at one point to be a top-tier wide receiver. But it opens the door for some of these unknown, younger wide receivers for the Indianapolis Colts. There's this one guy who is literally as cheap as you could possibly be for a skill position player in DraftKings, and I'm going to start him, and his name is Marcus Johnson. He's only $3,000 as a wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts this week, so he might be a sneaky play. And then Michael Pittman Jr., who just came back from injury last week, and, he's shown some flashes of, could be potentially a really good wide receiver in the NFL league. He is a rookie. I'm big on Michael Pittman Jr. He's another one to look out for. And I think this is something that we need to talk about briefly. I don't want to get too into it. Is Des Bryant a play today? I mean,
I saw some people scooping him up in different leagues, and even in our league, somebody scooped him up. I haven't heard much about him getting on the field, but he's active today, right?
Yeah, they called him up from the practice squad.
I mean, that's going to be interesting. I really want to see Dez get back because I do think he's a wide receiver that his prime was kind of cut short. You see him make the catch for real in the Green Bay playoff game, and then that's it. That's the end of Dez's career right there. You get the little stint with the Saints, but then the Achilles injury. I'm rooting for that guy. I always root for the OG players coming back like this. Him, Cam Newton, all those guys. I want to see those guys win. So hopefully Dez can get some targets, but I don't think I would start him today. I'm even weary to start AB, knowing that's Tom Brady's guy, and he might get some targets if he's on the field for sure. But I'd stay away from Dez, I think, in this game.
He might get a sneaky touchdown somewhere. I mean,
yeah.
I think that Lamar's going to try to get him involved, so I could see like a weird stat, like 3 catches, 19 yards, and a touchdown or something like that. If he changes his game up, he could be a valuable piece over there. They need a good possession guy.
They sure do.
Marquise Brown is a fast little dude who can run down the field. Mark Andrews is a good tight end. But if you give me like a possession receiver, Des Bryant, we know his hands weren't always the most dependable. But if if he works hard, he could definitely
he could potentially be like how Anquan Bolden was.
I wouldn't go that far because
at the end of his career.
Dez's game was built very differently than Bolden. Bolden always had the toughness to go across the middle and the hands, like Scotty was talking about. But what I do think he could do is he could be a guy who catches simple little comeback routes, 10-yard routes, but then also could be that deep play threat, on the fade route. And that's where Dez never really had too many problems with his drops. A lot of his drops came over the middle and things like, timing routes. When he had to come out the break and the ball was right on him, that's when you would see a lot of drops from Dez. But the fade route, we know that's one of his big routes right there, and I think that they could use him in that capacity.
So we got another question from the chat. David Montgomery or David Johnson at running back
man,
this week?
y'all stealing all the goods, man. Look, David Johnson does not have a 100-yard game yet since being traded over there. But I think this could be the big game for him. I'm going David Johnson in that game.
Yeah, and you know what? Jacksonville's run defense is pretty bad. So this might be the week for David Johnson to come around. I almost put him in a couple of lineups, to be honest with you. David Montgomery, I mean, I don't know what to say about Chicago. Chicago's offense is one of the more peculiar offenses in the entire NFL. It's super unpredictable. I mean, you might as well pull a quarter out your pocket and put it in the air, but I'm going to go ahead and go with David Johnson.
There's only one passing attack that's worse than the New York Giants this year, and I'm willing to bet it might be Chicago. I don't know. And also, in this game, I would stay away from Lamar Jackson, man. He's got 4 games this year under 18 points. He's been struggling. Even while he's running the ball pretty decent, he's had a couple bad games here. And speaking on the Colts being undefeated at home, the Ravens are undefeated on the road this year. So that makes this game even more of a critical matchup for both teams. Somebody's going to come out of that with an L, either at home or on the road.
Who you like, Booms, Johnson or Montgomery?
Give me David Montgomery. He's bouncing back a little bit. I mean, he's been the biggest bust since he got drafted last year by Chicago, but that game could be like low scoring in the trenches type of game. Give me Montgomery. I mean, I'm not high on either guy named David today.
Yeah, that's a toss-up.
So we got another question from Twitch. Zeke or Swift?
Give me
Zeke
Swift.
or Swift from Twitch. Yeah, D Swift, because Awthentik and I were talking about it earlier. There's some rumblings that Zeke might not even play today.
I heard that too.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with my gut on this and say that can't happen with the fourth quarterback coming into this game or in for this team. I'm going Zeke in this game. Zeke has no 100-yard games this year. We talked about it, and I wanted to save some of this for that matchup. But, since the quarterback issues have happened over there, he's averaging under 10 points fantasy-wise a game, and he was one of the top 5 running backs the first 4 weeks when Dak Prescott was there. So, we're just seeing a complete fall-off from Dallas Cowboys offensive players. He's the one player that I would say you got to keep pushing, and maybe he'll come around. This probably be the last game I'm giving Zeke a chance, and then I might try to trade him or get him out of here or, look for some other options at running back if that's your main guy.
DeAndre Swift's been looking good, man. Give me the Swifty rookie, man. He's been playing better for the Lions. They featured AP a lot heavy in the year, but I mean, I think they were kind of just incorporating Swift and Patricia coming off that Belichick tree. He doesn't give rookies big shares ever until they earn it. So I think that Swift's coming around. They got to give him the ball. Give me DeAndre Swift.
So my pick for the game, I'm 100% taking the Baltimore Ravens -2.5. I think that's an easy pick. You people in the chat were laughing at me when I kept telling you guys about the Colts defense, week 2, week 3, week 4.
Oh, yeah.
But now, they definitely have a good defense, and the Colts have been playing really good football. I mean, they're 5-2. But I think the Ravens are going to take this game. I'm a little suspect on this over-under. Did you guys both take the
47.5?
40. I got 48 right now.
48? I know. I'm very suspect on that. I'm going to say I'm going to say we're not going to get there.
Booms?
I went over.
You went over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way Lamar Jackson has another game like he had last week. I mean, that was a one-off type game.
That's a tough one. I'm going to take the over, too.
Calvin Ridley officially inactive today, so if you had him, put him on the bench.
I'm going to pull up that active-inactive list really fast.
We definitely getting this W today, Jimmy. We definitely getting this W today. I want it to be a convincing one.
What up, David?
Oh, David in the building. What's up? Giants all day, all day.
So I'm going to pull this up, and in a couple of minutes, they should have it completely updated, and I will go through that with you guys. But until then, let's jump into the next matchup. Carolina Panthers, 3-5 at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 7-1. The Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites. The over-under is 52.5. This game kicks off at 1:00 p.m. Scotty Booms.
Wow, I got to give y'all some more breaking news real quick. And this isn't major breaking news, but if you're a Giants fan, the Giants declined Evan Ingram all the trade offers that they got for him. Kind of crazy. He did have a bounce-back game.
I wonder, do you think it was anything better than like a 4th or 5th?
No idea, but that's according to Adam Schefter. He just put that out just now.
They like what they see, apparently. They're cool with the drops.
It says the Jets did the same thing with Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams is a beast. I mean, that's a guy you keep.
Yeah.
Jets need young pieces, and he's definitely young, and he's definitely a piece. They got to keep that.
He's the only player they have.
They got
Don't forget about my man. Don't forget about my man. Don't be overlooking my man Sam Darnold like that, man.
Oh, geez.
Not gonna be
I was being specific to the defensive side of the football.
But you wasn't, but all right.
All right, who wants to take on this game first? Christian McCaffrey's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I know that's joy to some ears.
And defensive tackle Chris Jones is out for Kansas City. He might be their best defensive player. Kansas City wasn't a super run defense before he went out. Now they're losing him. McCaffrey's back. McCaffrey's the kind of guy that can, swing the game one way or the other. I'm not saying they're going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs, but I will take Carolina at plus 10.5. Bridgewater is able to score with that team. He's able to put some points on the board. They haven't been overly consistent this year, but they have been able to move the ball. And against Kansas City's lackluster defense, I think they're going to be able to keep the points up to cover that 10.5, or excuse me, be within that 10.5. So give me Carolina plus 10.5.
What about the over-under?
What's the over-under?
52.5.
What was it last week? They had Mahomes' game at 45, and he broke it by like the second quarter by himself.
Yeah.
I'll always take the over in Patrick Mahomes' game, man. Give me the over.
Facts.
That's definitely facts. I'm taking the over in this game for sure. And I think KC will handle that 10.5. I don't see the Panthers, even with a healthy CMC coming back here. And the one thing I will agree with you is that the Kansas City rush defense has been pretty terrible this year, allowing 142 yards per game. They're ranked 29th in the league. But I just think on the other side of the ball, man, Patrick Mahomes, man, he's just killing, man. 21 touchdowns and 1 interception.
It's like college stats. Those are wild.
It's literally unreal. It's the highest ever in NFL history through 8 games. No one's ever done that. So, this kid's looking, if you keep those up, he's going to get another, close to a 50 touchdown season here. So yeah, give me the Chiefs in this game. Definitely. And yeah, I think they'll cover that 10.5.
So there's a lot of, talk. Christian McCaffrey is the talk of this game when it comes to fantasy, obviously, because nobody really knows what the percentage of snaps are going to be. Lucas says that they're saying 70%. PJ brings up a great point. I don't think people should rush into dropping Mike Davis yet, though. I mean, as of this morning, I heard that they were talking about alternating series between the two, which would be interesting. I mean, this is coming back from a high ankle sprain as a running back. That's a really tough injury to come back from. But as far as daily fantasy goes, you're not going to get Christian McCaffrey as cheap as you are today. And
what's crazy about the injury too is that's Saquon came back off that same ankle 6 weeks, just like that. Remember, he rushed it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And being that they gave him 6 weeks to heal it up, I'm hoping that he's like fresh and ready to go. No complaints, no nothing.
I have Christian McCaffrey on one of my teams. On my team, which I'm currently in first place still, even after losing McCaffrey. I think I'm tied with PJ on top of our division, actually.
Yeah, everybody won in our division last week, man, which really hurt me, man. I needed to catch up with y'all.
I'm running Christian McCaffrey in season-long fantasy. I'm running him in daily fantasy. I just think, you're never going to get him again this cheap. You might as well take a risk on him at this price. And he's still expensive, $80-something, $100, I believe. So, and on the Chiefs side, it's almost impossible to stack these guys. They're so expensive. They're more expensive than they were last week. But last week, the Kansas City Chiefs were the winning formula in daily fantasy football. They crushed.
Oh, fried completely. So my Tyreek Hill stack with Patrick Mahomes was ridiculous. Question for you: do we know what's up with Sammy Watkins? Is he back?
Sammy Watkins is out.
He's out again.
Watkins is out.
Man, I scooped him up when somebody cut him, hoping that he'd get back healthy a little early. And
they ruled him out yesterday, I believe. So we do have a question in the chat from Periscope. Shout out to everybody watching us on Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. Zach Moss or Tim Patrick, PPR. We've talked about Zach Moss this week. I think he's going to have a solid game. Tim Patrick, I'm big on the Broncos this week against the Atlanta defense. PPR kind of makes me want to go Tim Patrick a little bit, but I mean, Tim Patrick's really the third option over there right now, but behind Noah Fant and Jerry Jeudy. So I'm gonna go Zach Moss.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Zach Moss in that one too. Drew Lock, man, I feel like he's the kind of quarterback right now that's getting not really praised, but they're overlooking a lot of problems that he has. He's got the lowest completion percentage in the whole entire league. So I'm going Zach Moss on that, man. I'll leave Tim Patrick on the bench.
Give me Tim Patrick, man. Dude had 2 of his last 3 games. He's had 100 yards. He's got a couple touchdowns on the season. Broncos are going to have to score some points. I think they're going to throw the ball. I mean, Zach Moss, yeah, okay. But if Buffalo goes down to Seattle, which they will, they might just abandon the run all the way. So I'll stick with the team that's going to throw the ball all day. Give me Tim Patrick over Moss.
As far as this game goes, I'm going to take Kansas City
Phillip Lindsay is active in that game too, that Broncos game.
I kind of like Scott's take on here on Carolina plus 10.5. I think it gets to probably a 10-point victory. I don't know. That's kind of sketch.
It's sketchy because Kansas City could score 50 points.
Yeah,
and I don't think Carolina's going to score 40. So that's where you get nervous with that 10.5.
All right, I'm gonna take Carolina plus 10.5 in the over.
Good man, smart move.
I'm gonna ride with Scotty Booms. You know, he does really good on these Sunday shows, as he so eloquently put it last episode.
That's one I'm gonna definitely be keeping my eyes on.
Insight from a Broncos fan on that last question says Tim Patrick is the number one when he's on the field. Interesting take. Oh, shout out! I hit a Jerry Jeudy last night on card autograph, 12 of 15.
Wow.
In the Panini Flawless product, which is crazy high end stuff. The cards, it's only 10 cards per box, right? And the box is a metal briefcase that you literally snap open, and you have 3 cards already in a case, and then you have another box with 7 cards in it. There's no card. Every single card is to 25. That's it. That's the highest numbered serial card. So yeah, last card of the break too. I was.
How many teams did you have?
No teams. It was by serial number. So each card is only numbered to 25. So it's a random serial number. So I drew 12 as my serial number. So then since it was a 12 of 15, I hit it.
That's dope.
And
man.
I was going crazy. Dude, one person had 1 and they hit 2 1-of-1s out of the 10 cards.
My
2 of them
God.
were 1-of-1s.
That's incredible.
Insane. And then the other hits were either a 6 or a 10. So it was just only number 6, number 10, number 12, and number 1. 4 people hit cards out of the 25 people in the break.
That's a big hit.
It was insane. So next game on the slate. This game. Chicago Bears 5-3 at the Tennessee Titans 5-2. The Titans are 6.5-point favorites. The over/under is a low 47. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Booms, tell me what you got.
Chicago and Tennessee. Looking at these records, man. Is that who we're talking about? Chicago, Tennessee?
Yep.
5-3 and 5-2. Chicago somehow keeps winning football games. They didn't win last week, but they have been winning more than we projected. We talked about Dave Montgomery. Not a great rookie year last year. Started out slow. He's starting to get it together. Other side of the field, Derrick Henry, probably the best running back in football against Chicago's defense, which has been good this year. Again, it's a tough one to pick right now, to be honest with you. 6.5 seems like a lot because I could see it being like a 24-20 game or something. So give me Chicago plus 6.5 and under the 47. I see a defensive battle, low scoring. The terrible Bears offense versus the good and the good Bears defense versus Tennessee's run offense. We'll see. I'm gonna go Chicago though, plus 6.5, under 47.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go opposite here. I'm gonna take the Titans in this game. Ryan Tannehill, man, is 15-2 with the overs in his career, 6-1 this season. So I'm gonna definitely take the over in this game. Which is, what's the over at here? 47? Yeah, I'll take the over in this game. And Chicago, man, struggling, man. There's a chance in this game that they're going to be without 4 week 1 starters on that offensive line. Best case scenario, there's going to be 2 people out on that offensive line. And you wonder why Nick Foles has been running around crazy like a chicken with his head cut off and whatnot. They've allowed 20 sacks. That's the 9th most this season. Some of those to your boy Trubisky. This is going to be a battle of third down, man. Tennessee is last in the NFL in opponent third down conversion, so they're allowing teams to convert at 61.9%, which is ridiculous. And the Bears, their offense is 31st on third down. So I think whoever wins third down is going to win this game. But just to play it safe, I'll take the Titans in this game. And 6.5 might be a little too high. I think it'll be a little bit closer of a game than that.
I'm looking at no other real people out. Tennessee, no Adam Humphries, no Jadeveon Clowney.
Not going to hurt too much.
And I think Derrick Henry's a good start in this game too, man. Obviously, he's got 5 straight games with over 15 fantasy points. Not doing too much in the receiving game. He has 3 or less catches in all of those games, but 15 plus points in 5 straight games. I mean, that's pretty solid right there. It's the longest streak of its kind, actually, since Arian Foster in 2012. So, yeah, if you got Derrick Henry, definitely make that a priority for your team.
Yeah, that third down conversion rate, that was crazy. I'm shocked the Bears are 31st in the league in third down.
Yeah, man. You know, I keep an eye on third down conversion rate because I feel like Daniel Jones has a big problem, and our defense has a major problem on third down. So I'm always looking at third down statistics. I thought the Giants would be last in that.
They say it correlates to winning football. So
yeah.
That's what they said.
I think this game is – I don't think this game gets to 47 for real. I don't see. I think it's just going to be one of those kind of grinded out ball games. Derrick Henry's probably going to go for $150, something around there.
Some quiet look.
Yeah, quiet 150, probably on like 27 carries. I like Tennessee -6.5, and I'm going to take the under. It's not. I mean, I'm not really playing anybody in this game. I mean, I might sneak Mooney in on some daily because he's so cheap, you know. But, I mean, Tennessee's pass, we talked about this. Tennessee's pass defense is very suspect. So if you wanted to take a gamble on, you know, an Allen Robinson, something like that, I wouldn't be mad at it. You know, definitely not. But I just think that Tennessee is poised for a bounce-back game this week. We do have, what is this? Is this a question? Full PPR. Chris Godwin or Michael Thomas got a bench one. Metcalf is my other receiver, and he's going nowhere near my bench.
Gotta go Michael Thomas, man. He only played one half of one game this year. Hasn't done anything. He's getting in fights in the locker room. I mean, he's had
he needs
really
to play.
Not an up and down season, just a down season. He's gonna make plays this week. Drew Brees is gonna make sure he gets his. Give me Michael Thomas, but I mean Godwin, you know, that's probably not a bad pick if he's healthy either.
I want to know how you got all three of those guys on one team. Godwin, Michael Thomas, and DK Metcalf. My God.
Yeah,
a lot of people ask us questions with sweet lineups like that.
Godwin was high on people's list, you know, entering the draft this year. But, you know, it happened to me, too. I ended up with a bunch of just fantastic wide receivers because everybody was going running backs in those first couple rounds. So probably just stuck around and just committed to wide receivers.
All right, next game.
I was going to say something real quick about that Michael Thomas thing.
Yes, sir.
I heard that he talked to Randy Moss yesterday, and Randy Moss was giving him some advice about, you know, dealing with like the off the field issues coming back into the game. Randy Moss was saying he got some real positive vibes out of Michael Thomas. So both those guys coming back off an injury. I'm with Scotty. I'm definitely going Michael Thomas on that.
Facts. I think it's no question. Michael Thomas is the man to go with in that situation. All right, we got ourselves a nice little NFC Central matchup, as I like to call it.
Central.
I think they call it the what do they call it? The North these days.
Chicago, Green Bay,
it's the Central.
Minnesota.
The Detroit Lions 3-4 at the Minnesota Vikings 2-5. The Vikings are 4.5-point favorites. The over/under is 51.5 points. This game kicks off at 1:00. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'll tell you what I got. I got your boy Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a start in this game. Last year, Cousins threw for 580 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions against Detroit. Divisional rivalry. He's yet to be under 70% completion against the Lions since Patricia took over in 2018. I just think that, you know, Kirk Cousins is the one who's going to light up the scoreboard today. Adrian Peterson going back for his 3rd revenge game, and he's already 0-2 against Minnesota, a team that he spent 10 seasons with. So I don't think we get any revenge vibes. We talked about this earlier. Kenny Galladay is going to be inactive in this game. So Marvin Jones Jr., he's averaging 22 points per game. When he gets at least 10 targets, I definitely see him getting 10 targets in this game. So he's definitely a start. We talked about that. So I'm going to go Kirk Cousins. I'm going to go Marvin Jones Jr. And the Vikings have covered each of the past 5 meetings between these teams. So, give me Vegas odds on this game straight up. I'll take over the 52.5. We're going to get there.
Man, you're making a lot of compelling arguments for Minnesota.
Hey, I'm telling you, the parlay be having me up late. So I passed out kind of early when Tim was texting us during the Notre Dame game. We were talking about this. I was knocked out, right? So I wake up at like 12 o'clock. I'm like, oh, we got the parlay tomorrow. And Tim sends out a text. He's like, couldn't have been a better day, man. You know, he talked about the election. He talked about the Notre Dame win. And he's like, we got Giants football tomorrow. And then he's like, we also got the parlay. I kind of forgot. I ain't going to lie. So I was like, yo, you better buckle down. So I couldn't go to sleep because, you know, it's just rivalry week, Giants versus Washington. I was like, man, let me just go do a little fantasy digging. So, you know, I did a couple little, little strategy moves on each game and, do a little research on each one of these games. So I think that's a little bit of a nugget.
That midnight or whatever text message that Tim sent out was kind of a weird timing for it. But when he sent that message out, you could tell he was hyped about it. So he wanted to share his excitement.
I was going crazy, bro.
But I mean, until I read the message and you said, we got the parlay tomorrow, I was kind of with Awthentik. I thought we were maybe still going to this game because Awthentik hit me on Wednesday. He said, I got some $65 tickets. It might be a scammy, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed. I didn't hear a word back from anybody for the next 3 days.
Bro, my man never hit me back. I was like, yeah, that's kind of scammy. He was giving me good vibes, too. He's like, yeah, you could just put down a quarter of it if you want to. And then, once I send you the proof of the tickets, I was like, man, this sounds like a swindle.
No way. Pay 25% now, 75% later. Like,
right. And I just looked at the tickets actually right before we went on air, man. Them joints still going up, man. The minimum was like $175, man. But, I mean, they're good view seats. But, yeah, I can't fade that right now. The way my COVID banking account set up, we ain't having that.
Same for them, though. I mean, it's a season ticket holders who have the tickets, so they're trying to make some of their money back on these wasted season.
Facts.
Big. So with that being said, I'm actually going to take Detroit at plus 4.5. Minnesota, they are down their top 3 cornerbacks. I don't know if it's their top 3. They're down 3 cornerbacks today. Stafford likes to throw the football. No Kenny Golladay hurts him, but he's got the 2 Marvins out there. And don't forget about Danny Amendola. DeAndre Swift's playing a little bit better. I do like Detroit scoring some points today. Kirk Cousins could keep it close. If Minnesota was the underdog, I would be rolling with Minnesota. But 4.5 points, that's too much. I'm going to lay that. Give me Detroit at plus 4.5 and over 51.5. It could be a shootout late.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the over on this. I'm going to take the over 51.5. I'm going to take Detroit plus 4.5 as well. I think Dalvin Cook, Detroit's run defense is horrible.
I was about to say, nobody said no about Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, PJ is right on. I think Dalvin Cook lights it up again for sure.
Yep.
If Minnesota's smart, you give the ball to Dalvin Cook almost all game. Like, there's absolutely no point to not give the ball to Dalvin Cook.
Cousins wants to throw the football. He's going to check out of those runs.
Especially against Detroit's run defense, which is horrible. And look, we already talked about Marvin Jones is probably going to have a big game here. The Marvin Hall is another sneaky name to look out for. TJ Hawkinson might show up on your TV screen, you know what I'm saying? So
hey, Dalvin Cook has definitely balled out while he's been healthy this year. Touchdown in every game. He's got 3 games with over 2 touchdowns.
He leads the league.
He's averaging 5.3 yards per carry. He's got 2 games where he was over 6 yards per carry. And they're feeding him the rock. He's got games of 30, 17, 27, 22 attempts, and they're just easing him right back in here. They gave him 12 for 50 against Green Bay just last month, and then he got hurt. So, Dalvin Cook, that's a must start. I almost overlooked him, but that's a must start.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Tracy, who just stopped in the Shizat.
Tracy in the building. What's up, Tracy?
Max got a question. Start Matt Ryan or Matt Stafford?
Getting a lot of guys with the same name asking questions. You got to start Marvin Jones or Marvin Hall or Matt?
Right. That's our second one.
Give me Matt Ryan, man. Even though Ridley's out, who's my favorite receiver right now. I was just talking about how Stafford spreading the football, but give me Matt Ryan. Sure.
Yeah, give me Matt Ryan in that one too. I want to say Matt Ryan is either leading the league or second in passing yards. He's been lighting it up on a really terrible team that's always playing from behind, it seems like. So yeah, give me Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Matt Ryan also. All right, so we got a couple more 1 o'clock games. Speaking of Matt Ryan, it's the Denver Broncos 3-4 at the Atlanta Falcons 2-6. The Falcons are 4-point favorites. The over/under is 50. This game kicks off at 1 o'clock. Tell me what you got.
I could take this one first, man. Falcons secondary is getting better. So look for them to at least contend here with the Broncos. But I think it's gonna be tough for them to stop the run, man. Phillip Lindsay back in this game. Matt Ryan, man, 72.3% completion percentage on the year. That boy is cooking. Speaking of about to cook. That boy is definitely cooking. And Jerry Jeudy, he's such an interesting player. He is the deep field, down the field threat. But I don't know, man. I might stay away from him in this game if you got other options like Homie, who just posted up, who he had those 3 bona fide number 1 wide receivers in this game or in this week. Atlanta's tough, man. What's the over in this game? 50.
50.
I'm gonna go ahead and say we're not gonna get there. We're not gonna get there in this one. I think Atlanta will win this game and cover that 4, but I don't think we're gonna get up to 50. I think we'll see a little bit of a come back to earth kind of game for this Atlanta offense, but they'll still win this game convincingly. So yeah, give me the Falcons. I'll take the 4 and I'll take the under.
How many times are they going to get the Falcons as the favorite this year? Like, they're having a bad season, and the bettors just won't believe it.
Well, Raheem Mostert is not Raheem Mostert. Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris? Am I tripping? Where am I at? Raheem Morris, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's 2-1 since taking over, right?
Is he 2-1? Oh, that's not bad.
Record since they fired everybody.
The Atlanta Falcons are 0-4 at home against the spread this year.
I'm not all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, not against the spread as the favorite. Sorry.
I'm not gonna all of a sudden believe Atlanta Falcons are a good football team. Just not gonna do it yet. Are they playing in Atlanta? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that makes sense, I guess. 4 points. They're a slight favorite then. Still, give me the Broncos. I'll take those points if you give me points. Like I've always said, if it's 2 bad teams playing each other and you're gonna give me points, I will always take the points. So I'll take Broncos at +4. Give me over 50. You know, there are some weapons out there. People are loving Jerry Jeudy this week. You've been hearing it all over internet, NFL Network, everywhere. They're saying that, you know, he's finally starting to click, and he's going to have a big game here sooner rather than later if Drew Lock can find him. Which
right. This is the one thing about Jerry Jeudy I wanted to point out. So he had the most air yards last week, 159 air yards, right? There were 12 other players with at least 100 air yards, and the average for them was 21.6 fantasy points. Now, with Jerry Jeudy being the leader in air yards at 159 yards, he only is putting up 11.3 fantasy points. So it's something to look at. And I told you a lot of people are overlooking Drew Lock's play. Granted, he was banged up for 1 or 2 games, you know, but I just think they're giving Drew Lock a bit of a pass right now, who's not playing well, but dancing better than his play.
Steve, Awthentik don't like Drew Lock, young. I come to the conclusion.
No, I like Drew Lock. I do like Drew Lock. I told you, I feel like he's got the skill set to be a great quarterback in this league, man. The stature is perfect. I like the size of his arm. The only reason why you might think that is because last week I was talking about how Colin Cowherd was saying he's off the Drew Lock bandwagon. I'm not off the Drew Lock bandwagon, just like I'm not off of the Daniel Jones bandwagon. I think they're very similar skill set kind of players. They both kind of got what it takes, but they don't flash in any one particular area. They don't have the biggest arm in the league. They don't have the strongest arm in the league. They're not the greatest runners. So to me, it's like I know Daniel Jones is in New York, which the media is going to attack you in New York. But with Drew Lock, I just feel like they're like, oh, he's looking great. And I feel like they're doing a little bit of that with Joe Burrow, who's playing pretty good too. But Joe Burrow's getting banged up, you know? So I just see a lot of these younger quarterbacks getting the pass, and I think we got to not give Drew Lock the pass here. Those Jerry Jeudy numbers kind of say that he's pretty inaccurate.
Look, I was high on Drew Lock before the season started. I drafted him to be one of my quarterbacks. Him and Joe Burrow were my tandem.
What is it, a dynasty league? Or you draft?
No. I waited to draft a quarterback until the end of the draft.
He does that every year, bro. Like, I'll be like, how did you end up with Eli Manning on your fantasy team, bro?
I like that.
He know I'm not lying. He wanted to scoop Eli every year.
I think this is going to be a great game for the Denver Broncos. You know, they were one of my sleeper teams this year, but they got ravaged by injuries early. I like Denver +4. I like the over at 50. I think I'm stacking Drew Lock, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. I'm bringing it back with Julio Jones. So I think that's going to be a sleeper stack in DraftKings, probably really low owned, except for Julio Jones. Because whenever Ridley is out, Julio Jones, everybody flocks to him because they know that that's where Matt Ryan's going to go with the rock. Oh, excuse me.
That COVID chronolite right there.
Don't forget to take a look at Russell Gage, though, for the Atlanta Falcons. I want to give a shout out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all types of things going on. It might have been one of my beard stashes. Tommy's in the building. Shout out to Tommy. Thank you for rolling through. And Mr. Buys a Lot is also in the building. What's good? Ben Noggle's stopping by.
Ben Noggle in the building.
I'm Mr. 2K, yeah.
Okay, very cool. It's not because of your NBA video game skills, right?
No,
This is
no.
250,000.
Look, my
Tim
video.
ain't played a video game since Madden 96.
My video game is Madden 92 for Super Nintendo. Barry Sanders, HB toss, spin move,
Hey, but
sideline,
look,
touchdown.
This is a trivia question right here. See, when Madden came out in 1992 for Super Nintendo, it wasn't called Madden 92.
It was just called Madden.
Yep. For Sega, it was Madden 92. I still think Sega Genesis had the one up on it. Madden 92 and 93 for Sega, man. When the ambulance would come on the field, they didn't take into account that the other players would be on the field still. So the ambulance truck would come in and just run over all the players and then sweep up the injured player. It's like, you're going to hurt 10 to pick up one. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, man. All right. Let's jump into...
Oh, one more quick little thing on Julio Jones. Real quick. Julio Jones, definite start this week. Like Tim was talking about, when Matt Ryan doesn't have a Ridley on the field, Jones leads all NFL players with 123 receiving yards per game over his last 3 games. So he's picking it up. I would definitely make sure that Julio Jones is in your lineup.
Yeah, he's going to probably... And this is the thing, though. Julio Jones is like that. He either has a crazy monster game or just disappears. So it will be interesting, but I think he has a big game for sure. I think you bring up a valid point, Mr. Awthentic. So it is Cernox Houston Texans at 1-6, who are 7-point favorites at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are also 1-6, and the over/under for some odd reason is a whopping 50.5 points. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. Scotty Booms, what you got in this game?
I don't know why that surprises you, man. These are not good defenses at all. Deshaun Watson, it's crazy that Houston doesn't have a lot of wins. He's still balling out, man. 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, completing about 70% of his passes. It's like they try to take this man down, and he just continues to thrive, even when everyone around him is just trash. But give me Houston. I mean, Jacksonville started kind of hot this year, and people were like, whoa, Jacksonville. They're definitely one of the worst teams in football. They're right down there with Washington, Jets, Giants. They're like probably in that bottom tier squad.
I got a question for you guys. Do you know who's starting quarterback at Jacksonville today?
Jake Luton.
Jake Luton.
I don't know how to say it. I don't know if it's Luton, or Lutton.
But I did see some stats from this kid from Oregon State, man. The last time he was on the field, he balled out. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Granted, it was in college. He has not played since November 23rd, 2019. So it's been a minute for the kid. I think it's going to be a little bit overwhelming for him in his first start in this game, too. But like you said, there's no defense in this game. You know, there's really no defense in this game. But I do think that David Johnson's going to get over 100 yards. And I talked about that with that question somebody asked earlier. When these two teams played in week 5, he had 97 yards, you know, and the Jaguars' rush defense is ranked 28th in the NFL. So I think he's poised to have a big day. Also, look out for Houston's wideout, Brandon Cooks, man. Quietly having a good couple of games here, stringing a couple of games here in a row. He's had 7 catches in his past 3 games. So I'd look out for him. He dropped 21.6 in a game here recently. So, yeah, I would definitely keep my eye on Brandon Cooks. And I might as well just give you my pick while I'm here. 50? We're not getting there, Scotty. We're not getting to 50. I could see that the Texans are going to run the rock, try to get a couple big plays with Deshaun Watson. Jaguars probably going to come out with a similar game plan. What happened to that young running back who started off so well, man? James Robinson. It's just not translating to wins, I guess, because the Jaguars in the first 3 weeks were looked at as a pretty decent team, man.
It's their defense. Jacksonville's defense is just they don't have anybody left. There's just nobody to play defense on their team, and their offensive line is a little sketchy too when it comes to pass blocking. Look. There's a lot of potential here for some big plays, believe it or not. I like James Robinson in this game a lot. I think James Robinson has a huge game. You guys know I'm always big on Laviska. I think Laviska, he's just one of those guys that you just never know where he's going to line up. I think he's just super versatile. It'll be interesting to see how, Laton and the rest of these guys.
As soon as you make fun of your pronunciation, it immediately becomes your forever pronunciation. I like that.
It'll be interesting to see how these guys mesh. They might have something there. They might not. It could be Ben DiNucci. It could be Tom Brady. You just don't know. But look, Houston Texans, Will Fuller. Let me tell you guys something. This is my insight of the day. If you have a Notre Dame player, it doesn't matter who he plays for, what team, he's either going to have a monster game or he's going to have a really bad game because they're either really excited about the win last night or they was up too late partying last night during the game. So you weigh your options. I'm just giving you a little inside information.
I'm going to need you to send out a text message to your boy Golden Tate, who's inactive for today's game after saying, throw me the ball after catching a touchdown to almost put that game into overtime. Let's go back to Brandon Cooks one time, Tim. So over that stretch I was talking about, those 3 games, he's the 5th best wide receiver right now in the league fantasy-wise. So yeah, I think, man, he's on the up and up. And before you pick, these 2 teams combined against the spread are 3-12 this year. So before y'all pick, keep that in mind. I would just say keep that in mind.
I mean, so what are you saying? It's gonna be a push?
I'm gonna let you make the decisions you would like to make, but they're 3-12 against the spread this year.
Look, I love taking, Jacksonville like all the time because I feel like they're pretty good, you know what I'm saying?
They're not.
When it comes to surprising some people, but they have not been the last few weeks.
They benched your boy. How can you love them, man? That's your boy.
They didn't bench him. He's got an injury, man.
And it was during the week where they were talking about benching him.
And that week he played really good.
He's played good his whole career, man. I don't know why I mentioned the pub.
He has the most touchdown passes according to the trivia on Tuesdays and Thursdays nights. You can watch us here on YouTube at 7:00 p.m. All right. I'm
He's
gonna
got
take
the most touchdowns in what?
Of all the quarterbacks from that class.
Oh, that's right, from that class, yeah. And who were the other quarterbacks in his class?
Daniel Jones, Haskins, Kyler Murray. I mean, there's a whole slew of them.
Whole slew of people struggling.
Shout out to everybody watching us right now. YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook. We're up to 34 people viewing us right now.
What
it
up,
is
Pete?
lit on Parlay. So look, I'm gonna as much as I don't want to, I'm gonna take the Texans -7, and I'm gonna take the under 50.5.
Why don't you want to take them? I mean, you just said you want to take Jacksonville, and they're giving you 7 points to take Jacksonville, and you're still going with Houston. You really don't love Jacksonville. You just love Laviska Shenault.
I'm just a little worried. I'm a little worried about what's going on
ever since
here.
Fitzpatrick and your boy Gardner Minshew had that battle of the beard and the mustache,
no
and
more.
Fitzpatrick came out on top. Tim's like, I'm done with him, man. Beard game.
Right now, neither of them are playing football. So how about that?
That's kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
All right, let's jump into those afternoon games. A little afternoon delight. Pew! It's your Las Vegas Raiders, who are 4-3, at the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 2-5. This game has become a pick'em. It's even. So you got to pick a winner or a loser. There's no spread, ladies and gentlemen. And the over-under is a whopping 51.5. This game kicks off at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Booms. What you got? What you got? What you got?
I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole if I had any money. I don't know how this game could possibly go. Justin Herbert's looking like maybe the best quarterback coming out of the rookie draft class. No offense to Burrow, who's been good, but Justin Herbert just goes out, throws 3 touchdowns every week. He's killing it. The defenses on both squads are a little bit questionable. Derek Carr's not a sexy player ever. Like, no one ever really gives him the props, even though he does win some football games. Like I said, I wouldn't touch this game if I got to pick somebody, which it sounds like you guys are putting me on the ball here, and I do have to pick somebody. I'll take LA and give me over 51.5. I think they're gonna score some points.
Man, shout out Lucas. Lucas might just have to get a job as head of our, our PR, marketing, and merch
Oh, man,
department.
that's number 2, Lucas. Man, and I ain't seen Lucas in like 14, 15 years, bro, man. You've been definitely slicing us with the plugs, man. I appreciate that, man. In this game, though, man, look, I think Derek Carr is a perfect example of when to not give up on your quarterback. Shout out to Gruden for sticking with him after they had 10 draft picks, I want to say, when he first got over there. And he didn't go out there and draft a quarterback. Chargers are going to be without Joey Bosa in this game, and I think that's major. Derek Carr, man, I'm sold. I think the kid is solid quarterback. And in this game, when I was reading up some notes, they called him a 7-year veteran. That Derek Carr is a veteran now.
That's kind of crazy.
Isn't that kind of crazy, man?
It is crazy.
Who started off super hot with Amari Cooper over there, man. And I was sold on him early, but then there was just like a rough patch there for him for a while there. The Raiders are 3-1 on the road this season. And if you combine the last 2 seasons, they were 3-13 on the road, which is crazy. I think for fantasy-wise, Justin Herbert is definitely a star in this game. 4 straight games with at least 21 fantasy points, tying Deshaun Watson for the longest streak by a rookie among active players. 6 of the 7 Raiders games have gone over the total this season. So give me that. I think we're definitely going to get to that 51.5 with these two teams. Chargers been lighting it up, and the Chargers have been collapsing late in games, man. Their record is,
new.
They should have probably 4 wins, maybe 5 wins, and be in the mix. Instead, you're looking at a 2-5 team. I want to take the Chargers. I really do want to take the Chargers because
this is a tough game.
The young boy has been balling out. But I think this is a defining game for the Raiders and Gruden. I think Gruden's going to come out with a game plan to shut down or do his best to put some restraint on his quarterback for the Chargers. So, yeah, man, give me the Raiders. And, I think we'll get to 51.5.
I like it. The Beard, how do you see it going, man? The Chargers, though, you're right. They've blown, I believe, 3 17-point leads this year. They said Atlanta, hold my beer. We'll show you how to blow.
And you know what's crazy is I think they've lost more 1 point or 1 possession games in the last 2 years than any other team combined.
I bet you the Giants are close.
Giants are close for
sure. We
had
8 games last year, I want to say, that were within 10 points. And this year, y'all know how it's going. Every game has been close. I want to look into that because, the Chargers devastatingly have been losing these close games, man. They should be a good team. They got all the weapons. They got the wide receivers. That defense is a little bit shaky, but I feel like they got all the weapons to be able to compete. And, these teams that are collapsing late in games, we'd be giving these coaches the pass. I ain't going to lie. And we know the Chargers have a solid coach over there. And I also think the Giants have a solid coach over there. But when do we look at the coaching and say, when teams aren't closing out games, when does that fall on the coaching?
Joe, it's crazy because that you say that. I was listening to the radio yesterday, stuck on 495. They have 2 lanes closed before you get to the White Oak, New Hampshire exit. It's the worst thing ever. If you're listening, transit, please fix that. It's horrible. But look, they were talking about, possible future Charger coaches, and I'm like, I like Anthony Lynn. I do.
Anthony Lynn is fire.
I really like him as a coach, and I think, it's tough because I hate these games where you got 2 teams where you want to see them both win, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I might have to pull a season 1 Awthentik and The Beard and call this game a tie.
Call it a tie.
But, I can't on the parlay, so I think we're definitely going to get the over 51.5. I like that a lot. I think this is the week the Chargers finally pull out a victory. It's tough for me to pick this game, but I'm going to go with the Chargers to win, and I'm going to take the over 51.5. I think there's tons of potential for fantasy here. I like Darren Waller. I think Henry Ruggs might have a big game. Watch him on the deep threat. He definitely has those big play potential. Justin Herbert has just been lights out. His price on DraftKings is starting to get a little bit higher. And then, Mike Williams is always a sneaky pick. He's had some big plays lately. And then Keenan Allen. If you're in a PPR league or if you're playing daily fantasy, you have to play Keenan Allen. He's getting 15 targets a game.
Yeah, and we talked about Keenan Allen being one of those players with the COVID situation. And I know Monique likes to blame the COVID situation on Cam Newton's play this year. I don't know. We're going to see what happens here with Keenan Allen in this game. Coming in maybe a little coffee from the COVID. We'll see how that goes.
This is interesting. What is the over under on
51.5 or something from what I saw earlier? I'm absolutely taking all of that.
Yeah,
give me all of that. He's going to be in that huddle. He's crazy. He's going to be cussing out Tom Brady like, I know I'm new here, but I need the football. Throw me the rock. And they're going to have to target him 10 times. He's going to get that 51.5 if that's what it's sitting at. Yeah, I'll take
that's
that.
Convincing. That's convincing, man. I might have to stick him in the lineup.
All right, we're going to power through these next couple of games.
We will. Quick question for y'all real quick, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Is David Carr a good comparison to Daniel Jones? He can run the ball pretty decent. He's got some legs. You can expect maybe a running touchdown here or there from him. Not the biggest arm in the world. Relies on timing.
I'm not mad at the comparison.
I don't like it. He's risk-averse.
I think Derek Carr has a stronger arm.
Stronger arm from Derek Carr.
He doesn't use it, though. He's a check-down Charlie, man. Daniel Jones is out there like Bruce Arians was saying, but the boy tries to make every play and thinks he can make the plays, which gets him in trouble. And I think Carr, the big knock people have had on him, because he's got a great completion percentage for his career, that he doesn't take enough chances. He's kind of like too conservative somewhat.
Yeah, and your boy was supposed to come in, Tim, and be that down the field threat, Henry Ruggs, and we talked about that last week too, how he's opening up stuff for other wide receivers, and Derek Carr's numbers do inflate when Ruggs is on the field, but it's not translating to a lot of fantasy points for Ruggs. But I just wanted to get y'all take on that Daniel Jones, Derek Carr comparison.
I'm not mad at it.
I like Jay Cutler still better for Daniel Jones.
Jay Cutler.
We got a little bit of a running competition. Miami Dolphins 4-3 at the Arizona Cardinals, who are 5-2. The Cardinals are 4.5-point favorites. The over/under is 49. This game kicks off at 4:25. It's Tua versus Kyler Murray. What you got? Authentic?
I'd stay away from the rookie, even though people are saying that he should have a big game. Because minus Patrick Peterson, the other cornerbacks on the Cardinals have been struggling. And I don't know, man. DeAndre Hopkins has been one of the top 10 wide receivers this year for sure. But the Dolphins' defense is pretty solid, and I don't know what to expect. The Dolphins' defense leads the league in points scored by defense. So, Tua just went out there last week and really didn't even throw the ball, and they got a easy W with the 3 turnovers that ultimately ended up in touchdowns and 1 field goal. So what are we at? 49 here?
Yep.
In this game? I don't think we're going to get to the 49 in this game. Both these teams are kind of shaky. I like what Flores is doing with the Dolphins over here. Give me the Cardinals in this game, though. I just think their roster and personnel is just a little bit more well-built. And don't forget that these two guys finished 1-2 in the 2018 Heisman, these quarterbacks in this game. And I want to say that that's the 5th time that's happened. Last time was with Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is involved in a lot of stats, man. So, yeah, give me the Cardinals in this game. Miami has covered games by 11.5 points per contest this season, which is on pace to be the best mark in the Super Bowl era. Watch out for that.
Yeah. So Miami, give me 4.5 points. We talked. Tua did not look impressive last night. Authentic's talked about it last week. Even if he doesn't look great this week, I do like their defense to kind of hold down Arizona, because Arizona's offense, when they've played bad defenses, they've been able to exploit them. But against middle of the road to better defenses, they've struggled somewhat. So let's start off with under 49 points for this game. But I'm also going to take Miami plus 4.5. Definitely going to take those points. I like the way their defense is going to play against Arizona. I think they'll be able to score enough to keep it close. Even if they do lose to Arizona, I think it'll be maybe a 3-point game, maybe even closer than that.
Dude, I'm so hungry. Baconator, fries with a spicy chicken sandwich and nuggets.
He did say Sandy. That's a great term.
The Cernock said it best. That's a solid order, man.
It all depends on what Wendy's you pull up on, because out here, man, I don't know if the Baconator
you can't
is
go
Wendy's.
to Wendy's in New York Ave.
That New York Ave Wendy's, young. Oh, my God,
I never
dog.
go to that Wendy's ever.
Yo, I don't know what's going on there. It's like they serving you burgers from last week. It's bad up there.
That
and the
is the
Wheaton
recipe.
one ain't that much better. Them fries be all soggy and, man, ever since Wendy's changed the fries.
in what is that? I guess it's technically considered Glenmont. That one's all right. The one right there by the old Kmart.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. No, it's
He
not.
said no, it's not, because that one is kind of close to
The
your crib.
lights are always
hey, and if
on.
I'm around that way, Scotty, I'm going Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers,
all
why not?
day.
I haven't
Roy,
been to
though.
Roy Rogers in a minute, man. Roy Rogers sounds so
Gold
good right
Rush,
now.
man.
Gold
All
Rush
right,
sandwich.
all right, I got to get back on track because we only got a little bit of time
Yeah,
left.
we got a
But
five.
look, I really, this game is one of those games that's really tough for me because I like both of these teams. I really do. I think both of these teams have, bright futures ahead of them. I love Brian Flores as a head coach. I really like Kyler Murray as a quarterback. So it's like, I think this is going to be a big scoring game, actually. I'm going to take the over on 49. I don't know why, but I'm going to take the over on 49.
I don't know why.
And I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 4.5. I'm going off the reservation
Stop
on this
stealing
one.
my picks, man. Did you make good or did you get stealing all my upset picks today? I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And I might sneak in a stack here. Tua, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, and then bring it back with DeAndre Hopkins. Who's running the ball for the Miami Dolphins, though? That's a good question. because Myles Gaskin's on the IR. Are they going to go Jordan Howard or are they going to go the white dude, Pat Laird?
Gotta be
Laird.
Jordan Howard. Authentic's boy. Authentic was like, where is Jordan Howard?
Ooh, he was so good for a while.
Where in the
He's
world is
so
Jordan
trash
Howard?
now.
Well, you might get some Jordan Howard tonight. That might be a sneaky play for real. Oh, Breida, that's right. Breida, but
yeah, you
Breida's
got
got
Matt Breida over
Breida's got a injury issue though too, a hamstring or a knee, one of the two. So I don't know. That's an interesting thing to consider down there in Miami today. Next game on the slate, this one's going to be fairly easy.
Yeah,
it's
let's
the
keep this one
Pittsburgh
quick.
Steelers are 7-0, 14.5-point favorites at the Dallas Cowboys, who are 2-6. The over/under is 42 points. It's a 4:25 p.m. kickoff, and what's eating Gilbert Grape gets the start at quarterback for the
Crazy.
Dallas Cowboys. And Zeke, we still don't know if Zeke's going to play or not. Tony Pollard might be somebody to take a look at. Which one of you fellas wants to take this one first?
I'll take this real quickly, man. I definitely think Zeke Elliott is a guy to start fantasy-wise in this game, unless you hear he's inactive. I haven't heard too much about that. And the Steelers gave up 100-plus yards to rookie running back J.K. Dobbins last week, so keep that in mind. The Steelers are forcing almost 2 turnovers per game, so this quarterback better watch out. That's second most in the NFL behind the Seahawks, surprisingly, which is kind of crazy. And the Cowboys are committing a league-high 2.3 turnovers a game. A lot of that has to do with the fumbles from Zeke. This is the last game I think you stick with Zeke. I think Zeke goes over 100 yards in this game with this Gilbert quarterback. If he plays, and he's got to play. And if he doesn't play, then you better look at the kid Pollard because I could see a heavy dosage of the run. Give me the Steelers in this game to cover and the 40.5. I think we'll get there.
Yeah. It's 42, is it?
42 now.
42,
latest,
okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
And
such a low over-under with a 14.5-point spread? It always stayed at
Doesn't
40.
make, that's weird. It doesn't really
Think
make
about
any
what was the score?
sense.
It'd be like 28 to 30. Nope, that doesn't add up. I don't even know what it would be. That's crazy. 14.5 is a lot. Cowboys are maybe the worst team in football. But like I was saying during the week, we don't know what Garrett Gilbert's going to do. I mean, he has been
Eat
there.
grapes.
Eat the grapes.
Grapes. He's been in the practice squad. I mean, they just showed a picture of him on NFL game day morning. It looked like he just had his wisdom teeth taken out because my man looked like it's a funny picture. I don't like making fun of people, but he looks kind of creepy. But 14.5, I'm conflicted. You can see right now. I should go with Pittsburgh, but that's a lot of points. Give me the
Don't do
Steelers.
it.
Yeah. Give me the Steelers. I will lay the points. And give me over 42. I think they're going to score a bunch. They're going to run the football, right? That's what you do against Dallas.
Yeah, James Conner is probably going to have a huge game today.
That's a hot
Chase
take.
Claypool, Notre Dame watch.
Notre Dame watch.
So, we might have one of those Claypool sightings where he just goes absolutely ham. I mean, I like all of the Deontay Johnson, Juju, Claypool, whatever you want to do combination-wise with those guys. And, James Conner, I think James Conner really steps up this week and has a huge game. And I might throw Tony Pollard in a couple of options because there's this possibility Zeke doesn't play. I'm going to take the Steelers minus 14.5. I'm also going to take the over.
Pollard's been getting some carries even while Zeke has been there too. So, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad start.
Yeah. So Sunday night game, Saints 5-2 at Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6-2. The Bucs are 4.5-point favorites, and the over/under is a surprisingly low for me, 50.5. This is a Sunday night game at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, what you got, Booms?
Old quarterbacks. We got a couple old quarterbacks in this game. These guys are ancient. Like 90 years old combined or something like that. You're getting receivers back full strength. Antonio Brown's coming to the Buccaneers. Going to make his debut for them. Other side of the ball, we talked about it earlier. Michael Thomas, finally healthy off that high ankle sprain he got in week 1. So he'll be back for Breeze. I think both these guys are going to get looks. They're going to get some touches today. The Bucs defense is better than the Saints defense. Ipso facto, I think they're going to rattle Drew Brees a little bit. Give me the Bucs to cover that 4.5. And 50.5 does sound sneakily low for two explosive type offenses. Give me the over on the 50.5. Bucs minus 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna take the Bucs. 4.5 is definitely good. This offense, man, week 1 was a bit struggling, and since then they've been clicking. That defense is up there at the top of the league, #1 in rush defense. But I still like Alvin Kamara in this game. 6 straight games with over 100 scrimmage yards. It's the longest active streak in the NFL right now since Deuce McAllister, 9-game streak in 2003.
Deuce McAllister.
Kamara's got 27 career games of 100 scrimmage yards. I mean, yeah, I definitely start Kamara in this game. And I think Mike Evans is somebody you might want to look out for to put on the bench, man. He has just
I haven't been able to start him all
catches.
year, man. Come on now. He's only
I'm
had one
sorry,
game.
man, but he's got 5 catches and 119 routes run against them in the last 3 matchups against the Saints. That's just not going to cut it.
No.
And 50.5, 50 and a half, we're definitely going to get there with these two teams. I see both these teams lighting it up, but yeah, give me the Bucs, and I like the 4.
All right, look, I think Tampa Bay wins this game, but I'm going to take the Saints plus 4.5. This feels like a 3-point victory game to me. I'm definitely going to take the over. This is going to be a fun game to build a showdown lineup with on DraftKings. There's just tons of weapons on this
All
field.
over.
Tons of options. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this game. You got the top two guys in all-time leader in touchdown passes. They're just going to go back and forth. Like, first and second. It's kind of crazy. So it should be a very interesting game.
They made a big deal about that last week when Drew Brees threw a touchdown pass in the stadium and on the broadcast, and then 3 hours later the Buccaneers play and Brady passed him again. So it was kind of like, we can do this every week for the rest of the season or what? Let's
really
somebody
hope not.
retires. Like, this is so good.
But Jimmy over at Old School Flips makes a great point. That Tampa Bay defense, I think, is probably it's most underrated defense in the league. They're starting to get a little bit of pub.
They're getting recognition. People see what they're doing.
But they're up there with Pittsburgh, in my opinion, for sure. So we're going to get to this Monday night game, and then we're going to get to the game everybody comes to see us talk about.
Hey, I got a question for the chat real quick. And I just want to get y'all opinion and y'all too on this. Antonio Brown or Terry McLaurin today?
Terry McLaurin.
He didn't have a great game against the Giants when they played a couple weeks ago, but I think it was like 7 catches for 70-something yards. If it's a full-point PPR league, I'd put in McLaurin. But, I mean, Antonio Brown could have a great game, so I guess I'd go Antonio Brown. That hurts to say.
So in the chat, let us know, Terry Scary or Antonio Brown?
Terry Scary?
Terry Scary. I like that. Terry Scary.
If he only gives me 4 catches for 30 yards, it's going to be
Come on,
scary.
Terry McDouble.
Double.
I love a McDouble, man.
talking about
No
food,
pickles,
man.
add Big Mac sauce. I'm starving right now.
Yeah, like, come on,
That boy
get to
needs
this
some
game.
food.
Want to eat.
Oh, man. All right. It's Cam Newton and the New England Patriots, 2-5, are 8.5-point favorites at the New York Jets, who are 0-8. The over-under is 42. What is this, high school football? This
Beef
is
and broccoli.
8:15 kickoff Monday night. Awthentik, what you got? Look.
This one is funny, okay? Patriots have lost 4 straight. The Jets have lost 8 straight. Man. Each team has gone 3 straight weeks without a touchdown pass. Cam Newton is in struggle mode right now. There is no wide receivers over there at all. He has 0 touchdowns over his last 3 games, 5 interceptions, and a 21% off-target percentage, and a 25.3 total QBR. This is not Cam Newton we're talking about. This is not the Cam Newton that we were talking about the Washington football team should have went after in the offseason. Sounds like some Haskins numbers if you ask me. And the running game for New England has been struggle mode too. But Damian Harris, I think that's somebody you might want to look out for, man. Not getting enough touches, I feel like. But could definitely be a guy you could plug into the lineup. Bill Belichick is 6-1 against the spread in his career in New England when facing a team 0-3 or worse. So you got to give me the Patriots in this game. And 7.5, is that what we had, Tim? We got 8.5. Woo.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Jets won't get to that. So, yeah, I got the Patriots covering. And give me the 42.5, or is it 43 now? 42.
42.
Yeah, give me the 42.
Jets have started 0-7 multiple times in their franchise history. Fun fact, they've never started 0-8. With that being said, I'm going to take them to start 0-8 this year.
They're 0-8 already.
No, they're 0-8. They're 0-8. They just hit 0-8. Yup.
And then push it forward. I guess they've never been 0-9. They've started 0-8 a bunch of times. So they might set a record this year for futility, even going back to the Richie Kotite 90s Jets, which is like the worst year in their franchise history. I mean, these are both struggling offenses. Pats have not been doing it. Cam Newton, that COVID, I guess, like Melania says, it kind of sticks with you, and it's affecting them even now. So I'm going to go underneath that 42, which sounds crazy.
Did you ever think that you would take a game under 42 points in the NFL?
Yeah, this game.
That wasn't being played in a monsoon?
A Thursday night game, divisional matchup between the Browns, maybe.
Frank Gore, the best offensive player out there. I don't know, man.
No, look, the Jets got some young weapons, man. Denzel Mims, Michael Pirine, you know what I'm saying?
You just like the rookie cards that you got signed.
Jamison Crowder has had a pretty decent year when healthy over there, too, but that's definitely been a problem for him.
Look, I mean, this game is going to be ugly.
Washington trade for Sam Darnold.
There's no way that Bill Belichick will allow them to lose to an 0-8 New York Jets team. That would be the end of him. He might have a corona. What do they call that when your things pop in your eyes?
Cornea.
He
said a corona. He might have a corona.
Look, I'm taking the Pats plus 8.5. I guess I'm going to take the under 42. That's just horrible.
Wait. You're taking the Pats minus 8.5.
Minus 8.5. Yeah, my bad.
What gambling casino is this? I'd love to bet there right now. Got my life on that.
All right. Let's talk about some real football. It's the New York Giants, 1-7 at the Washington football team. Redskins, Red Hawks, Red Tails, Red Fish. They're 2-5. And also a 2.5 point favorite. The over-under is 43. Game kicks off in approximately 33 minutes.
Go Giants.
Go Red Hawks. I'm going to start with Awthentik.
Well, we all know, man, Daniel Jones has owned the Washington, whatever you want to call him. He's 3-0 against them. He's 1-16 against everybody else in the league. It's kind of crazy. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a 75 total QBR in those 3 games. Give me the Giants in this game. I feel very, very, very comfortable. And I told y'all on Thursday, I think this is the kind of game where if Daniel Jones could come out here and play well, we'll blow out the Washington no-namers. And we're going to need Wayne Gallman. I tweeted this early this morning around 4 a.m. If Wayne Gallman can go for 100, I used the 100 emoji. If Wayne Gallman can go for 100, I think this will be an easy game, and it'll be kind of like that blowout that we saw when Eli Manning was there with Saquon Barkley at FedEx Field, and we torched on the first half the Mark Sanchez game. So I think you got to look out for Wayne Gallman. I'm going to plug Wayne Gallman in the starting lineup. He's one of my only Giants. I got Evan Ingram as well, and I'm going to plug Evan Ingram in the starting lineup, who actually had a bounce-back game last week. And I talked about this. The Giants declined all trade offers for Evan Ingram this upcoming week, who when he's playing well, the kid looks great. I think the formula for this game is run that ball, man. We know that Washington is the first-ranked pass defense in the NFL, which is smoke and mirrors to me. When I look at it with my eyes, they don't look like the number 1 pass defense in the league. New York wide receiver Sterling Shepard has gone over 15 fantasy points in both games back off of his injury, and he averaged 18.3 against Washington a season ago. So I think Sterling Shepard is the number 1 guy to plug and play in this game. The Giants have covered in 7 straight. And we're 16 out of 20 on the road since 2018. So give me the Giants, and I think we'll cover. Give me the over. I think we're going to blow out Washington in this game.
Wowzers. And he throws his notes on the desk.
They almost fell, knocked over my coffee. That was going to look crazy.
3 weeks ago, I came in here and I sat at this not exactly this desk, because I got a brand new desk set up. No big deal. Maybe I'll show you.
Upgrades, Awthentik and The Beard. Upgrades, baby. We on our way. We up to 39 people watching right now.
Money from Lucas and them, man.
I need some of those towels or T-shirts, whatever they're sending you guys, or socks. My socks are stinky and they got holes in them. No, but I sat here 3 weeks ago. I think the Giants were a 3-point favorite. Were they? Who was favored last time they played?
I think the Giants were favored.
They were. So I think I took Washington because they gave me points, which this time I should take the Giants because they're the 3-point underdog. But that little epic rant by Awthentik right there just pushed me over the edge. I'm definitely taking Washington. Washington's been playing a whole lot better. The defense is good.
Hey, you got
Kendall
me right
Fuller
there, bro.
has missed games. He's still leading the league in interceptions. He's got 4 of them. He's going to help lock down. No Golden Tate. He didn't even travel this week, right? He stayed home.
Didn't even travel.
No Golden Tate. Wayne Gallman to go for 100 yards. My man hasn't gone for 100 yards since his sophomore year of high school. Definitely not in the NFL. Not really worried about that at all.
I can't wait to
D-line
chop
is
that
coming
clip
out
when
this-
my boy gets to 100.
They talk about Lemieux as being a left guard. That's a hockey name. I don't know why he's playing football. The dude's a turnstile. He's going to get showed up by our Alabama D tackles today. Give me Washington big in this game, and they're going to cover that 53 points too, because we're going to put up 40 by ourselves.
Hey, so we're looking at a bit of a change from Thursday, because Thursday's prediction, I'm giving you your final answer right here. On Thursday's show, you predicted that this game would end in a flip-flop fashion as it did in the first meeting between these two teams, and you said the Giants will go for a 2-point conversion late and not get it, and Washington will win this game by 1. But now we're changing that. We're going Washington for the blowout.
You got him hyped up, man.
I amped them up. I put the
going
gasoline
the
on
other
the
way.
Washington football team fire, and now we're talking about blowouts on both sides.
I got to change my pick. I had Washington, then I picked the Giants, and now I'm back on Washington again. All right. It's booked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
What up, Clutch B-Ball?
Oh, Clutch B-Ball in the building one
shout
time.
out to everybody watching us across all the platforms, YouTube.
Waterfly in the building one time. Maria in the building one time.
That's crazy. We got 41 people watching right now. Don't forget to hit that thumbs
Hey,
up.
Maria's a Cowboys fan. She's been extremely quiet this year. Last year, when we were kicking off our season 1 of the podcast, she would pop in every now and again and give you a little bit of Cowboys talk. And this year, Maria's been a little bit quiet because the Cowboys have been quiet themselves, starting their 4th quarterback this year. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. And I hope you're not a bandwagon fan, Maria. I don't know how you became a Cowboys fan.
Hey, so Marjorie says the Giants are going with 4 wide receivers today. That's Austin Mack, CJ Board, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard. I like Sterling Shepard a lot in this game.
Gotta love Sterling Shepard. Austin Mack, man, I think if he can get to see some more targets in this game, he has the skill set to be a good wide receiver in this league. CJ Board, he's more of a down the field threat, kind of tall guy. Reminds me of a poor man's Plaxico Beers. We'll see if he can surprise us today, maybe.
I think this is all right. Steven Sims is back, so keep your eye out on him. I think this is a Gibson game again. I've been talking about Gibson the last couple of weeks. They finally started, giving him a little bit more plug last week. As long as we don't turn the ball over, I think we're going to be good. I'm going to take the Washington football team, Red Tails, Red Hawks, Red Wolves, Redskins to cover that 2.5. And I'm going to take the over. I just, when these two teams get together, there's not a lot of defense played. And if there is defense played, there's defensive touchdowns scored. So I think that there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I think, look, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, this is the game you see that sort of like, I'm waiting for that one. I'm waiting for that one play
flips,
where they
not
meet.
gonna get there.
Where they
he ain't
meet.
getting 30 today. Not on this team.
Oh, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But
Y'all
look,
know how we stop that run. Y'all know how we stop that run. The big hog mollies.
It's gonna be awesome to see. I'm waiting to see that Montez Sweat, Chase Young meeting at the quarterback, and like that. I want to see like what's that one dance that like the baseball players do where they.
Are you trying to see Daniel Jones get hurt?
No, I'm just saying, like, I want to see the Bash Brothers, Mighty Ducks style. You know what I'm saying?
What was his name? Fulton
and
I don't remember the other kid.
Oh man,
Them dudes was like 24 years old playing middle school kids. Come on.
Okay, they want to hear a sack total prediction.
Come on, give it to him.
Go ahead, give it to him.
That 10?
6 sacks today for the Washington football team. That's my prediction.
I'm going to go ahead and take that number and flip it for my Giants, and I'm going to take the over. I'm going to say the Giants get 6 sacks.
Who's going to get 6 sacks for the Giants?
Hey, don't forget, Leonard Williams out there got 4.
I give you that, Leonard Williams. Look, this is going to be a fun game. I'm excited,
Washington fans.
Yeah, well, look, I get to see Awthentik. We're right here, man. This is gonna be
swept y'all last year, bro. We're working on it at 1 o'clock.
Oh man, oh
and
man.
wait,
Giants fans, get them brooms out. Get 2 brooms. Get you a push broom like your school janitor got, and then get you a cheap broom like a witch from Wizard of Oz vibes. Yeah, we bringing out the sweet brooms today.
Oh,
No dustpan, Scotty. No dustpan. I'm just
You
sweeping
leaving
it
it
off
on
the
the floor?
porch. I'm just sweeping
off
it out
the
the front door.
porch.
Get out of here.
Cool. We're gonna send you guys back home sad. Golden Tate's gonna be at home with his feet up on his girl's lap. Like I told you, baby, I gotta get off this.
Hey, Golden Tate might be happy. Yeah, he might be happy if you guys could come out and get this W, man. But I'm looking for these young wide receivers to step up today, man.
It should
Let's
be
see what
interesting.
Austin Mack can do, man.
I was just about to say that. I think, let's see what Austin Mack can do. I think it's time to give him a little bit of burn for sure.
Hunting for Wayne Gallman, bro. Hunting for Wayne Gallman.
Authentic's taking notes on the notes.
Yeah, I'm hunting for Wayne Gallman, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. That's it.
6 sacks. Yeah, I'm calling it, Lucas.
All right, what else you got?
I'm 1 and
Beard,
2.
did you give a score? What was your score?
Yeah, I don't need a score. Washington they're going to cover. And we're going to go over 43. I'm sticking with my score from Thursday night, actually. You know what? Unless I didn't cover the spread in my Thursday night pick. I'll give you a new score. It's going to be 35 to 31.
A lot of points.
Washington football team. Yo, shout out to the viewership today, man. Y'all showed up today. 46 people watching right now. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up.
Week. It's a big week here at Division.
It's been a great game. It's been a great weekend, and I hope it sucks that one of us is going to have to lose today because everybody on the panel been winning all week.
Man, you got the Notre Dame W yesterday. You got your election W.
I'm looking for the trifecta, man. Biden, Fighting Irish, Washington football team, Red Hawks, Red Tails, Red Fish, Red Wolves, Redskins.
Why do you finish it with Redskins? You shouldn't say that word anymore, man. We got to cut that out of vernacular, man. It's
okay. You know what? I should get one of those shirts where they have
the skins.
They have all the names, like Marvin, like
yeah.
I should get one of those with all the different football team names for the Washington football team.
Yeah, you should. That'll be tight, actually. Hey, we might have to put that on the Authentic and the Beard merch. I do want my 33% cut, please. Even though I'm not a Washington fan.
Oh, here we go. Benny says 2 from Kerrigan, 2 from Sweat, 2 from Young, all sacks, all day, 6 sacks. Look, we're going to give you guys some time to set your lineups because I know that here at Authentic and the Beard, I have some unfinished business. In my DraftKings, I got 1 slot left with a team I like to fill after the broadcast. So
yeah, I definitely got to get to that lineup here.
Man, this was a great show. I had a lot of fun this morning. I hope you gentlemen had a lot of fun. I hope everybody in the chat had a lot of fun. We want to thank you guys for all your support. It means a lot to us, man. And I'm gonna let Authentic and the Scotty Booms, say the Red Beards.
The Red Beards. That'd be kind of tight.
I'll let Authentic and Booms say their final words, and we'll get you guys on your way here.
Yo,
today.
man, good to see a bunch of New York Giants Nation here in the chat before this big rivalry game we got coming up here, man. This was a really good parlay show. I think we got a lot of good fantasy advice out. I'm gonna take some of mine, take some of the chat's advice as well, especially on that Antonio Brown thing. Really appreciate that. Yeah, man, just continue to keep checking us out, man. We're gonna continue to deliver the content, man. And yo, we can't thank y'all enough, like Tim said, man. And yeah, I'll leave you with go Giants, man. Shout out to my man Sneaky G, man, because he know how to say that. He be like, let's go Giants. And we're gonna need a few of those today, man. I'm gonna be on my feet all day looking at this game. This should be a really good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game today. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. But it's a rivalry week here at Best Division of Football, Giants, Washington. And it's also good because neither of these teams have real aspirations of winning any Super Bowl this year. So because I think the stakes aren't quite as high in the long scheme, the long look of things, it makes it okay that one of us comes here on Tuesday with a loss. We'll still be able to keep our heads held high and smiling, right? Everything's going to be eat good blood on Tuesday, Authentic. You're going to show up, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be good, man.
Okay, cool.
I'm numb to the losses from the New York Giants, man.
Yeah,
They've all been too close. I told you I sat down on that 2-point conversion against the Bucs, and I was just like, don't even lose yourself. Don't even lose yourself.
I learned last night that once you stand at a certain point in a game, you can't sit back down. So like last night, I started standing in that 2 minutes in the fourth quarter of that Notre Dame game, and I'm texting with Frank the Tank, and I'm like, dude, I want to sit down so bad because they were reviewing everything in the overtimes last night. And I was like, Frank was like, don't you dare sit down. I was like, I'm not going to. And then we pulled it off. So if you stand, do not sit, ladies and gentlemen. That is the lesson that you will learn today. Hopefully we get a great day of football.
My policy is you don't want to be standing when something goes wrong. Because then sit your ass down.
Like get all jelly.
Right.
I am not mad at that. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Big steak.
Don't forget to set your lineups. And we'll see you guys next time.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Go Giants, baby. You know what it is. Big Blue, baby. Let's go.